So it's been about a year since I made my last video, which was also a Halloween decor video. Something I wanted to do this year was put planks of wood over my windows and maybe my door to kind of make my house look like it's condemned. So anyway, I thought it would be a cool project to make my own, because how hard could it be? I made one already, made a few already. This is one of them. This is sort of what the end will look like, the end result, but on a larger scale. So I went back to Home Depot today, which was a journey. Cut off. I'm gonna go to the front of my house and measure two of the windows that I want to put some boards over. Measure out how long and wide I want these pieces to be. I can get 3 slats because I don't want them to be too thick. I'm gonna go take measurements and then come back and draw up my boards. All right, so here's my front windows that I want to put some boards over. I thought of doing just really long boards. This is kind of wide. It's really hard to shoot this with. Each window is about a 34-inch wide board, so that would be 68 inches to cover both, which is just kind of too long. I'm gonna do individual boards across each window. At the top will be like in an X, and then have one at the bottom, and then on this one I'll have 3 going like zigzag kind of. Something like that. I also want to do boards over my door, but I'm gonna cut them so to like kind of retrofit them so they're flush with the frame and they can just sit flat on my door, so I can, you know, open and close the door no problem, but it'll kind of look like they're nailed to the door. And yeah, here's the board. So gotta just do some measurements and cut everything down to size. To the length and the width that I want. I invested in a hot wire foam cutter. Highly recommend it. I got mine off Amazon. I think it was like $25, $30. I can't remember. I'll link it below in the description. But it works great. It has all these different attachments to do different things, so I'll show you which attachments I'm using for what. And it cuts the foam so smooth, so perfect. Literally goes through like a hot knife in butter. It makes it so the edges aren't frayed, because you can see how frayed the edges are here from cutting it with a knife and breaking it. So I usually go over those edges with the hot wire cutter first, just to make everything super clean, and then I'll show you from there. I like shape it and just cut out like defects to make it look like real wood, because real wood isn't perfect. Let me show you the different attachments I use. Here's one that has the actual wire on it. So I use this to slice the edges long way to get rid of the frayed part, and then also to kind of carve in some divots and even like little hole cutouts or whatever. And then this is the actual handle with the power button and everything. And this is another attachment that's already on there. This I use to do all the wood detail, like the grain and all that. And I also use it to poke holes through for these little slats because I'm using zip ties to put those on. So yeah, I'll show you. Now I'm gonna go over with the hot wire cutter to get rid of the frayed edges and kind of smooth everything out, and then do the little divots along the edges too. So I'll show you how to do that. All nice and smooth. Take out some divots along the edge. I don't want it to be perfectly like sharp and square like that. You see how the edge has like kind of chunks missing from it. We're gonna do that using the same tool, the wire, the hot wire. Okay, let's get started on that. It really doesn't have to be perfect. I experimented with different methods of doing this, like taking out one chunk here, one chunk there, but I find it's faster and you get relatively the same effect just to go all the way down, and then sometimes you get like a big chunk like that taken out. That doesn't matter. I sometimes will even go like this, just kind of freehand a little piece taken out, because you see that a lot in planks of wood. I'm gonna flip it to the other side. Go all the way down, just one smooth motion. I might dip it up and down here and there just to make some parts bigger and narrower, but in general, you just want it to go all the way down. Get that piece right off. Boom. On the edge of this finished one I did, you can see kind of looks like it was broken off of something. If you want to have something very specific, you can always draw it out first on the wood. I have like some leather tools. It's like a needle, and I'll scrape it on there. You can use a Sharpie because we're gonna paint this anyway and cut away from it anyway. I'm just gonna freehand it. This is most of the prep for your planks of wood. So yeah, I'm gonna repeat this process 5 more times. Probably more, because I'm also going to do wood planks on my door, which I'll show you the measurements and the process for that later, because those kind of have to be like flush with the door frame and the edge of my door, so that's going to be different. I'm not going to do like frayed edges with those. So yeah, I'm going to repeat the process and show you the next step after that. Alright, I have all my planks cut. I had to take off my sweater. It's freaking hot. Even though it's October, it's like almost 80 degrees today in California, where I'm at. Alright, so these are my planks. I have 6 total. Like I mentioned, I frayed the edges or whatever, chopped them up, rounded the edges, and cut off the sides to make it totally smooth, just so it's not frayed from cutting it with a box cutter. Or trimming the edges with the hot wire. Don't worry about it being perfect, honestly, at all. Like, the less precise the better, because these are broken, old, weathered pieces of wood that have been used to board up a condemned building. So next, what I'm gonna do is take off this attachment. Be aware that it automatically is hot right away when you turn it on. There's no waiting period or indicating light that says whether it's ready because it's hot. You turn it on and literally within 3 seconds, it's as hot as it's gonna get to cut foam and to burn you. As soon as you turn it off, within like 3 to 5 seconds, it's cool to the touch and you can handle it however you need to. And next we're doing the grain detail. So I'm gonna put on this attachment. There's also another one that's even longer. I think this is like 3 inches, and then the other one is about 6 inches long. So it just depends. I've used the longer one too. Either way, whatever you want to use. It doesn't say this in the instructions, but when you slide these on, there's screw holes in the back of the attachment, and then there's screw holes in the back of the handle. So you're gonna match screw holes, because I was like, how do you know which way is the correct way to put it on? So you're gonna match screw holes, and if you get it brand new, it might only feel like you can push it to this. Like, I can't push it down anymore. You can. You just have to kind of break it in. It might be hard the first time you use it, but make sure it's pushed all the way in like that. Turn it on. And I turned it on. It is already hot enough to melt foam. So be careful, because it gets hot very fast. So the way you do your wood grain is totally up to you. I usually just kind of freehand it. I can show you, this is how I did my other one. So usually sometimes I'll find like a focal point, and I'll do like a spiral to simulate like a knot in the wood. And then from there, I'll kind of go off of it, almost like a ripple effect. You can make it as simple or as complex as you want. I will say, when you paint it, the more lines and grooves, the harder it is to paint. So do with that information what you will. I'm just gonna kind of freehand it and go from there. This is off topic, but I have these solar lights that come on at night, and every year I just cut out a piece of red film and put it over, and they all glow red, and it looks really cool at night. All right, so I have my foam boards all ready to go. The next step is painting them, so they end up looking like this. I honestly just used paint that I have just from other projects, so you can choose whatever shade of brown you want. I have acrylic, dark chocolate, then I have espresso. These are just random acrylic paints I pick up from wherever. I just look for a color and look for the best price, and I make it work. And then I have this gloss enamel, it's Decor Antique Gold, which I'm gonna use to lighten my brown, just because I'm just using what I have. and that'll be kind of like for highlighting. And that at some point, I'll show it, I'm gonna use green to kind of add, like, just make it look weathered and like mossy and kind of gross. I just need a brown base coat. So I'm just gonna do as much as I can right now. For these, since they're going right over the windows, I definitely don't have to paint the back. Try to save as much paint as I can. So yeah, I'm just gonna paint these and get as much done tonight as I can. It's about 9 o'clock at night. I've been working on this on and off just throughout the day whenever I have time. And tomorrow I'll probably go to Michael's or wherever and buy some more acrylic paint, some brown, and yeah, we'll finish from there. But we're almost done. I have one of my painted boards here. I mixed a little like a mustard yellow golden color into my brown. You can mix whatever you want to get whatever effect you want. I just wanted a lighter brown. I get just a little on the tip of my bristles, and then I stamp it out a little on my paper towel, and I'm very gently going to just graze over the top of the grain of the wood. Also skip this step entirely if you want. Like at this point, your wood slat is pretty much done. I'm also going to go in with some green to kind of just make it look mossy and kind of old, like maybe it's been raining a lot and like slime. All right, so I looked through my paints and I don't feel like getting something to put my paint on, so I'm just gonna fold this paper towel. And again, I'm gonna dip it, I'm gonna stipple it a little, and I'm gonna have this be the top of my wood. So I'm actually gonna paint top pretty green. Just this top part here. Downward motions. I mean, it's not bad. It's a little lighter green than I want. I wanted it more of like a swampy, kind of darker green almost. So I might look for another green, but whatever, I have so many boards, it's fine if this one's like this. But yeah, this is the effect it's giving up close. And the top, I smeared some green just to make it look like it's been building up and then running down over a long period of time. So I'm just gonna highlight and moss up the rest of my boards, and I'll show you my ideas for those. So it's been a few days since whatever step I did last. I think I painted something. I've done more since then, but I haven't recorded it because frankly I haven't had the energy. A few days ago I had to put my dog that I've had since she was born, over 10 years, to sleep. So it's been really hard, and I just haven't had the energy to like set up a tripod and record things, but I've still been painting and making stuff. It's been a nice distraction from everything else going on. But I just didn't record it. I just didn't feel like it. I explained pretty much everything for the most part. The only things I did that I didn't record was measuring the planks to put on my door, and then obviously recording, putting everything up, which isn't that exciting. I just put it up with tape. And then there was some trial and error with the measurements on the door, so yeah, you didn't miss much. But I'm still gonna show the final result. Here's one of them. So they all say different things: caution, turn back, keep out, various things. So yeah, I just wanted to be transparent. For a little bit, I considered just like, why am I still recording shit and just not posting anything? Because it's not like I'm a avid YouTuber or I have like followers or subscribers really, but I still think it's cool to kind of document these projects I've been doing on Halloween, even though if I only post once a year around Halloween. You know, I've recorded this much, I want to just finish it, so that's why I'm still gonna post it and recording this. So anyway, thank you to the few people that will probably watch this, and to anyone who cares about stuff I make. The next thing I'm gonna do is I have a satin enamel clear coat. I have it from another project I did. Maybe I'll just show you quickly what it was. I did it over the summer. It painted some stepping stones and put them in my backyard, and I spray painted them with satin clear coat. And they've held up great through the rain and the harsh sun and everything. So these I'm just spray painting because, or clear coating, because we might get some rain in the next few days. And I painted with acrylic paint that I'm pretty sure is washable, and I just want to protect it, and I have the spray, so why not? This is optional, just depends what you're gonna be doing with these. The ones I put over my door and my window, I'm not gonna clear coat because they're not gonna be exposed to any water. The rain just doesn't hit there, and I want to preserve as much clear coat as I can. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna do next. So thanks for watching, I guess. Alright, these are totally dry now, so I'm just gonna stack them up and mark where I want to hang them. Just want to show some of my Halloween decor. There's two of the signs I put up. I nailed these ones into my tree. Spider web. I don't have all these signs up yet. I'll probably do it tomorrow, but here's one. There's another. There's the wood boards over my window. Uh-oh. This one came down. Need to reinforce it better, but you get the idea. And then the ones over my door. Thought they turned out pretty cool. I'll take another video tonight with everything lit up.